Imagine being so strong that no one, not even yourself, has seen the true limits of that strength. That's Superman in a nutshell. This man is not just a glorified solar panel or anything like that. He's probably broken every single law of physics known to man ever since he first debuted. He can't be defeated by any ordinary means. I mean, naturally, there was a time when he was just a kid, still unaware of the almost disgustingly potent levels of power lying dormant in his own body. So, how about this? We go back to Superman's earliest days and see just what would happen if we put him through the same type of training Goku went through. As you guys already know, there are plenty of striking similarities between Goku and Superman, at least in terms of their origins. Their home planets were destroyed and they were sent off to Earth on a one-man ship. Goku was picked up by Grandpa Gohan, while Superman was adopted and found by a rather elderly couple. That's how Goku and Superman gained their understanding of morality, amongst other things. Growing up, both kind of believed themselves to be human because there was no reason not to. But unlike Goku, who was just being himself and telling girls that all boys have tails, Superman knew about his special disposition, but he never wanted to make a scene and just remain composed even in the face of all of those bullies. Of course, they eventually learned that both of them are aliens, their home planets have been destroyed, and they're among the last of their species. So here, let's talk a little bit about what exactly is a Kryptonian. These guys are inhabitants of an already dead planet called Krypton who can gain indefinite amounts of Zenkai boosts when they're close to the sun. The planet was destroyed because of factors other than the Emperor of the Universe nuking it out of existence, but because of the destruction of Krypton, Kryptonite was formed from the residue of that Krypton. It's Superman's greatest weakness, and there are a lot of shades of Kryptonite out there. Next, what are the benefits of being a Kryptonian? Well, for starters, you get a lot of overpowered abilities like super strength, super speed, flight, insane durability, X-ray vision, heat vision, super intelligence, emotional adaptation, and black light vision, amongst many other things. It's easy to understand why Superman was dubbed as the Man of Steel. I mean, it's impossible to defeat him by ordinary means. You have to conveniently nerf him with kryptonite or something else, or just be strong enough to kill him outright in one blow. Otherwise, just a little bit of sunlight is enough to get him back up and going. This is why there are arguments that a strong enough version of Goku could defeat Superman if he really wanted to. But unlike Superman, who has always been strong, everything Goku has achieved is the result of simple, hard work, and dedication. Which is alright because Superman doesn't really need to train. His power essentially comes from the solar radiation that's being actively absorbed by every single cell in his body. He's also a little bit closer to Gohan than Goku in the sense that he also has a normal life, while Goku will go to any lengths to find a new opponent and get that next fix of a battle in. And so if we truly wanted him to train and go through the same things Goku did, we'll have to recreate a whole scenario where Superman has the same upbringing as Goku. Honestly, I really don't think the Kents would have been able to raise Goku the same way they did Superman. Goku's just a little bit too difficult of a child, but the other way around is definitely possible, I think. One day in the multiverse of madness, Grandpa Gohan is taking a nice stroll, just appreciating the birds and the weather when he comes across two broken space pods and two babies. Grandpa Gohan, being Grandpa Gohan, just adopts the two baby boys and raises them himself. Thanks to being around Goku all day, every day, this version of Superman is a little bit less institutionalized but more carefree. Let's call him by his real name then, Kal-El. Now, this is where things are going to get interesting. If we're talking about what if Superman went through the same kind of training, how strong would he be then? Then what about the other way around? If Goku always had a brother as insanely strong as Kal-El, how strong would he get? You see where I'm kind of getting here? Like, this goes both ways for sure. Maybe too strong, too fast, but still a positive influence to each other. Grandpa Gohan would sometimes wonder about these two, like, why are they so strong? But whenever he sees them laughing themselves ragged, he realizes that whatever the future may hold for these two boys, they'll be fine. By the time Bulma would show up, Kal-El and Goku definitely felt lonely without Grandpa Gohan, but they still had each other, so without even realizing it, the two of them just kept kind of getting stronger, especially Goku. He had to keep up with a stupidly overpowered Kal-El every noon. In fact, if it weren't for Kal-El headbutting the living daylights out of him every day, Goku could have easily gone rogue. We don't know for sure how old Goku was at that point in the story. He told Bulma he's 14, but that's because he's kind of bad at counting. Though since he was 12 at his first martial arts tournament, which took place around 2 years ago, and that's where he first met Bulma. So Goku was 10, and of course Kal-El is 10 as well. At 10 years old, Kal-El and Goku are still pretty much unaware of their true origins, so it's not yet possible for Goku to just magically achieve a Super Saiyan transformation. Both of them do know, however, that they're not the same. For some reason, Kal-El is the big boss during the day, but then sometimes it's a different story during the night. It was a tough upbringing for Kal-El because he couldn't regenerate during the night, and any blows he received from Oozaru Goku were gonna hurt like hell, but somehow he did manage to survive. Anyways, as the boys continued to grow up, Bulma would eventually tell them about the Dragon Balls, and yes, she is already smitten by Kal-El, which makes me feel even more bad for Yamcha because his only relevant plot point ended before we even got a chance to get to it. And maybe a spoiler alert, but at the end of the day, Bulma still ends up with Vegeta because there ain't no way in hell that I'm writing Trunks out of any one of my stories. Awkward things happen, and sooner or later, the trio meets Master Roshi. More awkward things would happen. Goku learns the Kamehameha. He launches it at Superman, but Superman instinctively uses his heat vision to counter it. Both of these boys had learned something new today. When Master Roshi realizes that these are the two boys that Gohan picked up, he offers to train them, and with that, we're at the Kame house. Krillin is there as well, but it's hard to keep up when your classmates are a Saiyan and a Kryptonian. Goku was getting stronger with each passing day. He was also garnering a more thorough understanding of the way energy works. Kal-El, on the other hand, just continued to discover more reserves of power within him. This was all thanks to Master Roshi's training. He was now becoming aware of the energy that exists within him, or in simpler words, Kal-El was learning ki control. Goku was always delighted when Kal-El gets stronger because he now has an even stronger rival. But for some reason, Kal-El begins to overthink. He starts getting afraid of his own power. Then one night, while he's staring at the starry sky wondering about who he really is, Master Roshi finds him and asks, "Hey, what are you doing out here, little fella?" Kal-El pauses. He isn't sure what to reply, so he says, "I don't know, I'm just scared, I guess." "Of what?" Master Roshi asks. "Of myself." Hearing this, the old man knew exactly what this young soul was afraid of. He was afraid of eventually being consumed by his own strength. He was afraid of losing himself. And more importantly, he was afraid of losing his brotherly bond with Goku, not to mention his new friendship with Krillin either. And so, Master Roshi pats his shoulder, points to Goku who had just stepped out to take a leak, and then points to the full moon. Within a few seconds, Goku had already transformed and is now wreaking havoc all over the place. Seeing this, both Master Roshi and Kal-El laugh. It seems so silly at the moment. I mean, why would anyone be afraid of their own strength? They laugh it off and then try to contain Goku before they lose the shelter. This training continues for more than a year, and before long, Goku, Kal-El, and Krillin enter the first World Martial Arts Tournament. Goku and Kal-El fist bump as they can feel it in their bones that they'll eventually face each other in this very tournament. Master Roshi could not ignore this strong sense of rivalry himself, and so he chose to just not participate in the tournament, not even with the guys, and just became a bystander watching the whole thing. Well, they may have already surpassed me anyway. All I need to do is look after these boys who just keep moving forward, Master Roshi tells himself. Of course he meant Krillin as well. The tournament begins, and sure enough, it eventually comes down to Goku and Kal-El. Krillin was defeated by Kal-El in the second round. Well, the sun is looking really pleasant today, don't you think, Goku? Kal-El declares. For sure, it makes me want to puke, Goku replies. Their battle begins, and they both begin the fight without any reservations. It starts with an exchange of punches that blows away everyone in the stadium. The pressure was insane. While Goku has to bear a lot of this pain, Kal-El has already healed himself thanks to the sun. However, Goku had enough zeal to bear the full burst of every attack. He knew he had already felt it before. Pain makes him stronger in real time, and so It's unreasonable to say that he'll eventually catch up to Kal-El even if he is at his best right now. Goku grows exceedingly strong during the course of this battle, but in the context of martial arts, Kal-El was impossible to defeat. There came a point where Goku just couldn't physically keep himself conscious anymore. He passed out, but at age 12, his power level was now already over 9,000. Years passed by one by one. King Piccolo was barely a challenge for either of them. Goku did eventually marry Chi-Chi and named his son Gohan. Kal-El sticks around for a few days after the baby's birth, but then decides to go on a journey across the horizons into the vast reaches of space. Very well then, Goku. I guess I'll see you later, he says. At least tell me where you're going, Goku asks. You know that story Grandpa Gohan used to tell us? How two kids came out of space pods? Well, I think it's true. I think we're those kids, Kal-El replies. Wait, what? Goku interrupts, but Kal-El continues. I realized it after that fight with King Piccolo. Aliens are definitely real, and we're one of them. I have a feeling that sooner or later we'll have to face the reality of our origins, Kal-El states, and then walks away. He goes on a journey around the solar system and beyond. 4 years later, a man named Raditz would still arrive on Earth and cause a big scene. Goku was away at the time, so Gohan still ended up getting kidnapped. But when Goku later goes to find Gohan, he beats the ever-loving mess out of Raditz and then asks him why he kidnapped his son. As you may expect, Goku was surprised to learn that what Kal-El said is true. He is indeed an alien, one of the last surviving members of a warrior race called Saiyans. How the hell did you become so strong? You might be even stronger than Vegeta, Raditz says. Vegeta? Which one? Goku replies. He thought they were talking about vegetables because he was out on the farm all day. Raditz goes on to reveal what actually happened to their race. He tells him about Frieza and also asks for his help. Goku was thinking about ignoring it at first, but after recalling what Kal-El mentioned about them eventually facing their own origins, Goku agrees to meet with Vegeta but tells Raditz to bring them here first. For the sake of context, even at this point in the story, after having trained with Superman day in and day out, Goku would have a power level of more than 100,000. Vegeta would of course need to do a lot of catching up once he realizes that he is no longer the closest to becoming a Super Saiyan. Though I think it would be cool if we still took a quick peek at what's gonna happen in the future. So a few years later, when Kal-El finally returns after having defeated Doomsday and realizing his own origin, he's greeted by Android X. An android that was designed for the sole purpose of crushing Kal-El if he ever returned. But the thing is, this android doesn't need the sun to operate at 100%. Goku has dealt with all the other androids at this point, while Vegeta has decided to personally go with Trunks to the future because this version of Trunks was here to report Android X. But how did the future still get screwed up? It's because the sun was destroyed in the future. Kal-El was killed off by Android X, and Goku had been put in a vegetative state. It's pretty much a complete dystopia. The only reason humans are still alive is because of the artificial sun there. Android X doesn't really bother anyone since he's already killed Kal-El, but they can't bring the sun back either because it'll cause Android X to move again. And that isn't all in the slightest. In case you guys forgot, the addition of Kal-El to the Z Fighters drastically raises the mortal level of Earth, so this is gonna mean Majin Buu's return, the actual Cell, and even the God of Destruction Beerus. All of these guys are about to become relevant much earlier in the story now. The butterfly effect and multiverse theory is just cracked at the moment, but as of right now, that's a story for another time.